Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting on April 15th, 2026. May I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Right. Okay, thank you. Let's do introductions, starting with Barbara.
Barbara Sanborn, Vice Chair.
Oh, Alyssa Lee, Director.
Irene Thomas, Secretary.
Linda Workman, Member.
Deb Stevenson, Treasurer.
Georgiana, member.
Laurel Pahalski, Member.
Sharon Hines, Board Chair. Do we have a volunteer to please read the mission statement?
Sure.
Thank you, Irene.
The mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services, to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life. And I would like to pass around copies of the agenda, which I forgot to do. Here they come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the approval of the minute meetings for March 18th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Because I wasn't here.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Okay. Next, the Alyssa, the director's report.
Moving right along. Thank you all so much for your time. George, these are gorgeous daffodils that really brightens the day. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, so just a few key highlights. We had over 1,500 interactions, so that's across all service areas during the month of March, up a little bit from February. We had 16 new participants, which is a pretty big jump for us. I looked to see what the trends were. There really wasn't too many trends. It just, my best guess is it's spring. People are getting out and about. Last year, March was also a bigger month for us too. So it really varied across all of our touch points, be it, just general information, benefits, programming. It was really even across the board. So that was really great to see, and hopefully we will keep them connected. I know one new member that started last month. She has been with us quite regularly throughout the month, so that's always awesome to see. About just under 1,700 pounds of food distributed. I think at this point it's very safe to say that we are consistently seeing over 100 visits a month in the food pantry. This month, about 116. 170 van rides, 22% of those were deliveries, and 340 people were inside town hall, and/or that does include coming inside town hall to check in for van trips too, which is, again, really wonderful to see. We have our staff snapshot. If we had a comparison to February, which at some point I can put them all together, relatively similar to February's numbers, no big change there. And then, of course, much more detail in the attachments in regards to our daily activities. So in my reflection this month, I just happened to pick up a call for transportation. Normally, this is an area that Nisha takes on, and I pass on to her. It just so happened I took this particular call, so I thought I would share it with you that this community member relies on her wheelchair. She has vision impairment, and so really sees the COA as a lifetime and lifeline. She relies on the COA van because it has a lift. Unfortunately, our van was already booked for when she needed her appointment, but there are other options, and so we helped her get that. But when her particular impairment doesn't allow her to use the phone for new numbers very well, so was able to go to her home and navigate the phone. for making that appointment. She got there. It was a really urgent medical appointment that she attended. And as a result of that appointment, it found out that they needed to go to the doctors at least once a month, which she desperately needed to use the van for, because that's a sense of comfort, right? We know we can rely on it. She knows the drivers. And we can feel comfortable using it, as well as sort of being cost effective. So, you know, a lot of back and forth between her and the doctors and us and our schedules and her family's schedules. And we eventually were able to book an appointment now through September. Again, because of the mobility and vision, she does need a companion with her, because it is also really hard to ask family members to take off a day of work, you know, every month. And so we were also able to get a companion for her, and she was just on the phone, really emotional. You know, as I said, you know, she said that it brought tears to her eyes, and it certainly sounded that way. But it was just a really great moment to realize, you know, as I said, it can sound transactional, especially when we're talking about numbers and this is how many rides and services, but it truly makes an impact for our communities here. So I appreciate the work that we do here, and all the support that you all give us to make that happen. So it was great. Thank you for letting me share that.
Sharing such a success
yeah.
story.
Yeah. Also made me think about transportation outside of the COA is really, really hard. You know, I mean, we were on the line. We were 100 at one point, 177 online, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" For those people that don't have somebody to support or can't wait for the hours it takes to get through the 176 people before you, like, it's wild and just really terrible, you know. But we were able to make it work
And
for
I
her.
also, I think a shout out to Nisha, who does this that's a major part of her position too. I mean, you did that one, but like, I'm sure, you know,
Yeah, that's
she's in
what I said.
transportation, and it's like,
Yeah.
how do you go, you know, okay, we can't have the van, and you have to wait online to, you know, get somebody. Yeah,
Mhm.
we appreciate what you do for both of you, for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone in the staff,
Absolutely.
to help people that need it, even the van, you know, the van drivers, I shouldn't say even the van drivers, but the van drivers who do get people to their appointments and help them. And yeah, it's a good service.
Absolutely. So finance, no big changes here, except for we are starting to see some revenue come in for our engagement celebration, but those numbers are there. As mentioned last time, we should be getting our final installment of the formula grant, which should read FY26. I will fix that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
And March expenses were relatively low, just due to the timing of payments and things. But again, all those details are in the statement at the end. But if you have any questions on finance, more than happy to check in on that. I did put the FY27 budget info, same as last time, but just given that on Monday, April 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Bagnell Elementary School is the town meeting. And that is where the town will approve the budget. All of the warrant and budget information is online in the web. There are paper copies inside the entryway when you come into town hall as well. So, yeah. Any finance questions? As I shared via email, we are excited to welcome Sharon LaFrance as our new program coordinator. She will start next Tuesday. Monday is a holiday, so we are closed. So she will be here Tuesday, April 21st. She has a really great administrative background. And I think, you know, it really came across in her interviews just how committed she is to being of service to the community. So thank you to Sharon and Irene for being involved in that process, and hopefully we can take a break from that for a while. Yes.
Where we had some lapses where we didn't have a name on that role, is is there a little bit of money left over in the budget that could be transferred to a different line? So that we spend it like for kind of a van or maybe increased hours for her a while or something?
I mean, given that our budget only has salaries, I don't, yeah, I mean, certainly we'll use it. You know, the van drivers had a couple of extra hours for special events. And yeah, and then hopefully we'll be able to make up some hours for her as some special events coming up, but I can take a closer look and make sure that we're fully utilizing it as much as we can. Yeah, thanks. Just planting the seed of a potential cancellation policy. I know this isn't your direct purview to manage the day-to-day, but certainly you all are so kindly active members of the COA. So, you know, thought we could use it as a sounding board. The reason I bring it up is we've had some really amazing programs, and as we get busier, means more programs, means more people, and ultimately that means people cancel too. So, so I'm of two minds on this. You know, I like setting out clear expectations so people know what to expect, what's expected of them. But I also don't ever want to make somebody feel, one, generally bad about not coming, and two, if they're sick, we definitely don't want them to come. So we don't have to necessarily talk about it today, but if you did have a chance and wanted to, more than happy to. It's a pretty big lift, I guess, is the big thing. One is the lift on staff, of particularly day of when people call. You know, I'm canceling. Okay. And then, you know, also there are a number of programs that we do pay per person in advance. Again, the fee in big picture is nominal, even for the big ones, because I want to make sure people are healthy and safe. But I do want to make sure that we are being financially responsible for the department as well. So
I read the policy.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded very fair
Yes.
and very understandable. You know, I guess the only issue at all would be allowing yourself to make, or the staff to have some judgment calls.
yeah, the judgment calls, I mean,
I
that's the
think-
tricky thing, right? Is that we need consistency,
Right.
but then there's always that wiggle room. And
Right.
yeah,
So I'm thinking, yes, but I'm thinking that by judgment calls, I meant more like, say there's an activity that has a $35 ticket
hmm
fee, and then there's also $15 added into the fee to cover the cost of the van
hmm
and the cost of, you know, gas and tolls and parking,
Yeah,
all that.
yeah,
And if the $35, you can't find someone to take the seat, you've already paid the $35 ticket price. I mean, I think anyone would understand
hmm
that within, you know, whatever time frame,
yeah,
that they're stuck for that $35, because you are if you do it on your own. If you're
Yeah.
going to Pentucket to watch a musical and you buy the ticket and you don't go, they're not giving you. So I think that's rational. I'm thinking though, if that $15, that's kind of a sunk cost.
hmm yep.
So you know what that's
Yeah,
my job. I
yeah,
don't mean individual
absolutely.
person to person
Okay,
judgment.
okay, I appreciate
mean,
that.
If there's a situation like that,
Yes,
where,
we can have a little more.
so maybe they
leeway.
don't get the ticket price back.
Yeah,
But
the
maybe they do get part
transportation.
of it back.
Yeah,
And again, that may not make sense,
yeah,
but
yeah. No,
I would say that would be my,
I like
and
that.
but I think that your policy allows for that.
hmm Yeah.
But
thank
I thought it made sense.
you. Okay.
And I think most people would as well. I mean, you're always going to have someone that's not happy about that, but
Yeah. How it
you know,
is.
But
I
I noticed
appreciate it.
in the engagement, in the
Yeah.
engagement newsletter, you had asked, you had several dates for events and said payment should be made by this date.
Yes.
So that might be a way of, you know, if you make your payment and you
Mhm.
cancel before that date, fine, but if you can't, you pay, you're on the list. the provider is planning to get that money.
Yeah.
Well, they do get the money because I was on a trip last year and several people surprisingly just didn't show up and we paid for them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah, that was sort of my workaround, knowing that we didn't have the full policy, but I mean,
Yeah.
we could certainly do both, just again, so that people are really informed and don't
Yes.
feel that they
Right.
are
right.
taken
But I
back.
thought the
And-
dates by which the payment is due was a
Yeah.
very clear signal.
And maybe as you pay that, you have a thing where it says,
Yeah,
I
you can hand it out.
understand that, hand them a copy of
Yeah.
that. And if we can fill that spot, if you cannot,
Yeah.
you can get your money back and that person will
Hmm.
fill, right?
Mm, yeah,
And
yeah,
we can't
yeah,
guarantee if you're calling that morning,
Right.
you
yeah.
might have a wait list. But meanwhile, I mean.
A
you
lot of
call
times when we
me,
do
I'm
the
like,
wait
"Well,
list."
I've already made 10
Yeah.
other plans
Yeah.
today. You know?
That
Um,
is often how it works, so. yeah.
So, yeah, I think, I thought it was also very good, very clear. And, maybe if we vote, we could vote on this policy. I don't know if we need to, it's really up to you. But have it put down for anything, especially if it's a paid type of thing.
Mhm.
I mean,
Especially like a
if I
ti- like
don't
a
show
ticket
up for a speaker, it's, if it's just one person out of 15, it's no big.
Yeah, but it
can
sort of
be- it
is.
can be. She's bringing, or he's bringing enough stuff, yes.
Mm.
Stuff, but also just setting expectations for the presenter,
Mhm.
when we
But then
say,
we also have
Yeah.
walk-ins.
yeah,
Yesterday, there were walk-ins.
yeah, well, exactly. So I know when it's
Cost anything.
that certain people are, I will do it no matter what. And those presentations are great. I know there are certain agencies that say we do need X number of people to be
Right.
there. And also, I think just professional courtesy for the person coming in to say, oh, yeah, we expect, so they can have their own expectations. Oh, man, only 5 people came, or I thought we were going to have 10. But yeah, again, that's the thing, is that I don't want to make people feel bad, but I also want to make sure that you are committing to this and it's not just I'll sign up for everything whether I do it or not,
And
you know.
and I know there are people that do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if it would be a good move for us to postpone a vote on this until perhaps the June meeting, which would give us a chance, all of us a chance to look at the wording, think about it for a little while, because there are always afterthoughts. And then it would also mean we could observe what happens in May, where you have put in you need to pay by this deadline. And maybe we would learn more going through that process. If we needed to adjust something, because once this is in place, I think we want it to be in place.
Yeah.
But to have as much depth and breadth and clarity as possible.
I don't think it needs to be a vote, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But definitely wanted your feedback. So still would like to do that process if that works. But yeah, I can report back. So I appreciate it. I do. And yeah, I'm totally open to anything. Like I said, conflicting interest in my own mind. Wanting to make sure it really is welcoming to come in and that you can come in last minute for some things, but not everything. So,
Just
you know,
get up
it's,
From the van.
And I
Yeah.
think your point of not coming if you're feeling ill,
yeah, like that
always
is,
needs to be said.
Mhm.
yes,
Because you
absolutely.
don't want someone saying, I don't want to lose my
Yes.
$30.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm just going to go and get everyone else sick.
I know. It's hard.
Sometimes people just plain forget, but that's not really a good excuse unless, the person has cognitive issues.
Yeah, yeah.
If they just say, oh, I overslept. or-
Usually though, aren't there, I mean, again, my one van trip I tried to go on got canceled. But I had gotten a reminder call.
Yeah.
So that happened, right?
Yeah, so that's something that I want to work with the program coordinator too, and certainly if you have feedback about consistency, internal consistency on when we do that. So again, do we want people to always rely on that? should we just do it because it is helpful? It's one of those things.
Yeah, well, I think
It's helpful. Yeah,
given our demographic, it probably
it is helpful to always do it. Yeah.
to have a reminder call. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's easy enough to do.
especially too, if you've forgotten like the time,
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
may have it on your calendar,
yeah,
oh, van trip. But do you need to be here at 9? Do I need to be 9:30?
Yeah.
Do I have to go back and find the newsletter? Do I
absolutely.
have to call? So
Yeah, I
I
can make it
I'm
consistent.
a big fan of it.
Yeah, and people can
Yes.
always, there is a way to opt out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't want that.
But also, given the administrative background of Sharon coming in to the position, she probably has ideas or input or would be open to, let's try it this way this month
Yeah.
or for this trip, and then let's adjust based on what we experience.
Yeah, absolutely. We can look at the numbers instead of also making it on a gut feeling.
Mm.
So maybe I was just feeling overwhelmed. I don't know.
No,
Perhaps even ask people, would you like a printout of what you signed up for? so you
Yeah.
can stick it
yeah,
in your refrigerator
those are helpful.
Yeah,
Next to your chair or whatever, so. Because
Yeah.
like you said, sometimes I don't remember the time that a van trip is leaving, so.
Yeah.
Look at the newsletter or look at
Yeah.
the-
yeah,
Helps to have something.
tangible.
I have
Absolutely.
a question, Alyssa.
Yeah.
If someone should fall ill
Yeah.
and calls, like the day before, will that person also be responsible for the fee that they pay?
I mean, I think it, as we said, it sort of depends, let's say Piggity Place, for example, it's $50. We have to pay in advance. I sort of feel like yes. Um,
And I think you have to
Yeah.
look at what do other organizations, if you buy a ticket to go somewhere and you get sick, you either find someone to take your ticket or you lose the money. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
yeah,
I think
that's
that has to be
question.
done.
So-
that way.
In particular for the van trips.
Yep.
Don't you usually have a waiting list?
So as you mentioned, yes, we do usually have a waiting list, but if we do it 1 or 2 days ahead, there are many times where we go through that whole waiting list. Like you said, oh, I've already made plans for tomorrow,
Right.
So sometimes, absolutely, like this last trip to Poets Inn, we went through, there was a huge waiting list. We went through the whole thing, but our last 2 people were like, yes, we can do it. But they were also the last 2 people that like added to the waiting list right soonest, so yeah, I think absolutely.
Yeah, but that's
can.
answering Sharon's question. It would be, there's a possibility. that
Yes.
Someone else can purchase your ticket and then you could get reimbursed.
Yeah, so
Not-
if
no
we're, so it does say
responsibility.
on here, if we're able to fill the
Right.
spot,
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
it's not like you have to, like Deb was
Right.
saying, you find a friend, you. want
Right, you don't have to do it. No,
Put it on
if there's a
Facebook
waiting
or
list,
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Like tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'd prefer that you don't do that because there is a way.
Yes, yeah, well,
Yeah, no, I know. It's so tricky. All right, so we will revisit with maybe some more data points next month, but really appreciate your feedback on that. Thank you. Professional development update. In one of the MCOA meetings I had attended a while back, they had reminded us that there is a required LGBTQ training for all COA staff, like program and admin staff. And so Nisha and I took that training. It's online, it's self-paced. Really just a pretty high overview, but always good to have reminders about best practices, about how intentionality really does matter when we want to make sure that people feel welcome and a sense of belonging. And also sort of a broader sense of policies and procedures, things like the registrations, how do we ask, gender and things like that. As well as, maybe we can put something on, in our office to indicate that we are a welcoming space. And I know in regards to our goals, having that welcome statement, we can make sure to include something in there as well. So
Okay.
that was great. Yeah.
Can I add something just quickly?
Yeah,
Something I
please.
read,
Uh-huh.
and I read that the pride flag is returning permanently to the Stonewall National Monument.
yeah.
there was a legal settlement after a lawsuit was overturned, and it's going to be permanent. The only time it would be removed would be for cleaning and that sort of thing. So a victory.
Yeah, awesome. I saw that. That is great news. So good stuff.
Would there be any summary from this training that maybe would be beneficial for the board to be aware
You
of?
all can probably take it. I can send it to you. I mean, it's pretty high level stuff. I
Okay,
mean,
so-
you know, like nothing. But like I said, it's always good to have a reminder. But yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Cognitive stimulation therapy update. So I finished my training. It was 12 hours of video training, you know, live. We were on Zoom. You know, definitely included, you know, independent homework assignments and the written exam, which I haven't gotten word back yet, but I felt pretty good about it. So we'll see. You know, so, you know, we'll then have access to their CST network. So Caring Kind is an organization in New York, but, you know, clearly they're doing trainings nationally. And so they're becoming a network of trainers. So to fully complete the process, though, that means, you know, I'll observe 2 training sessions, and CST trainers, you know, the ones that trained us do a number of theirs as recorded sessions. So we'll train them. They make sure that we do our observations and submit that to them. Part of the certification process is, as we've already planned, to facilitate 2 programs. So one will be here at the Groveland COA, and then the other will take place in Topsfield, where my co-teacher is Joan Schaefer. And so once those 2 are done, in addition to completing 4 learning circles through CST, then we'll be officially stamped.
Sorry about that.
Woke us up.
I know, sorry about that.
as a trainer. So Joan is a member of the COA board in Topsfield. She's also chair of the Dementia Friendly initiative in Topsfield. We are having a planning session tomorrow, actually, to figure out sort of timing of things. We both anticipate starting in July. Not sure again which site will have a first one or not, but we will work it out. But really excited about it. The training was great, just a whole different way of thinking. Yes, hence cognitive stimulation, I guess. But you know, just
Related to you too.
but it did. You know, we asked just to really be cognizant of the questions, the follow-up questions that we ask people, to ensure that we really are, you know, stimulating. And while reminiscence is, I feel like so often something that we rely on, oh, tell me about your childhood. And those are really wonderful stories, you know, that we talk a lot about here at the COA, you know, tell me about when, but this is more bringing the current into one's mindset. And so having activities about, you know, current events, and or if we want to use reminiscence, you know, tell me, you know, they're talking about, oh, when I was a child, we used to take the train from, you know, Freeport to Boston. Oh, you know, awesome. Do you do that today? I wonder how it would be different, you know, today versus when you were a child, and sort of going that route. So yeah, it was really good. So it is a set curriculum. It meets for 7 weeks. Twice a week. They do recommend doing an intro and a closing, so then it ultimately becomes 16 classes. But very much looking forward to it.
So when you do the CST program here,
Yes.
who Who do you envision attending the program?
So, we'll definitely need to do some recruitment, but it is designed for those diagnosed with early mild dementia, and that is where they have found the most success with CST. So CST is an evidence-based program, which does mean that there is a very structured and rigid way of doing it, and because they've documented their success with those particular diagnoses, that is who we are looking for to participate. And there is an intake where we would do an interview and an application review with people. So, looking to, to local doctors' offices, to other COAs, to day programs and things like that.
And is it worth people just from the general population to attend to learn more
No,
of the information?
no.
Okay.
So it is specifically for the person living with that dementia diagnosis. It is not a caregiver and person living with
Okay.
dementia. It is solely for the person living with early Alzheimer's.
Okay, thank you.
We do the welcome session, more than welcome for everyone to attend that are participating in the program, but the actual weekly programs are specifically for.
Mhm.
So are they one-on-one?
It would be a group between
be
5 and 8 participants.
5 to 8 participants with 2 leaders?
Yes, yeah. The second person really sort of is like a sit back and note taker, and then one person, leading the program. So, yeah. Community conversations. So I connected with Melinda Vinning. She is currently the COA director over at Hamilton. Previously, she was at Ipswich. We may have talked about her in the past, or someone else may have, I know. We have known that the Ipswich has done quite a bit of work in regards to tax relief for their older adults. So we had connected because she actually asked about her survey. Then she said, "Oh, there's a lot of questions about tax relief, let's chat." And so we did, and she really just told me about her time and what they ultimately decided to do, which was to tie the deferral eligibility to what the circuit breaker eligibility is. Mostly, the long and short of it was because that was the biggest impact they can make in the shortest amount of time. In the shortest amount of time, meaning it still took like 2 years for them to get it done. Yeah.
So the circuit breaker, I understand.
Yes.
Okay. And basically, the circuit breaker, when you file your taxes, your Massachusetts state taxes, not your federal taxes, your Massachusetts state income taxes, you, depending on your income level, which off the top of my head, I can't remember, but your property taxes and any like water, sewer.
Yep.
Groveland, I'm not sure if Groveland will be electric too, since it's a municipal service. I don't know about that.
I can't
Because
remember.
I've never done it for a Groveland resident, but, so water, sewer, property
I don't
taxes.
think they ask for the electric bill when you go to a CPA or
Yeah,
whatever.
we just do, I don't know, I'm trying to remember how I did, but anyways,
Water and sewer.
so if that exceeds a certain percentage based on your income level, you get some of that, not all of it, refunded as part of your Massachusetts state
Mhm.
tax refund, or it reduces your tax liability. With deferral, you're deferring the payment of those property taxes until the sale of your home. Is that correct?
Yeah, until you pass under the sale of your home. So they were tying the eligibility.
Just the eligibility. So could
Yes.
someone, I guess my question is,
Mhm.
in that scenario, could someone file their taxes, get whatever refund,
Mhm.
and then the balance, can that then be deferred, or is it one or the other? I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm
Because you're
not-
basically getting a refund from the state.
For the
for
circuit
part of-
breaker?
Yeah, because you're
Oh,
getting a refund.
Two
for part-
separate things.
Two separate.
Oddly enough, though. So here you go. So after they did this, so the process was, okay, as same as COA here, there were some concerned citizens said, hey, Melinda, we really need to do something. So, okay, let's do this. So they put together a committee. They made a big campaign because it has to go to town meeting to change anything. And then once it passed at town meeting, it has to go to state legislate to say that the town can actually make this
Mhm.
change. And that's where the real time suck was waiting in that process. That happened. And then just recently, and I know they're working to change it now. I can't remember the state reps because they aren't ours, are working on it because they can't do both at
Right.
the moment.
But
But they are working to figure out how they can change that at the state level. They do.
but
It was an unforeseen.
should you
um,
get both?
That is not for me to decide. But know that
You've
it's,
basically gotten a refund for part of what,
yeah,
if you defer it, you haven't paid it.
yeah,
So if you do the deferral first, then there will be no property tax
Yeah.
payment to use on your tax refund.
yeah. So
It's kind of the chicken before the egg.
could be. In my eyes, I do see it as two separate things though. So right now the deferral in Groveland is like you can't make more than 20,000.
Right, so it's up
So-
the level.
So it's upping it considerably, right? So that more people could use the deferral option.
Right,
And I think ultimately that's what we're,
and then
yeah,
the town has to figure out how to handle that drop in revenue.
potentially, but knowing that they would still receive it is just,
But you won't
At a
receive
later
it in the
date.
budget year where you have the expenses that you are paying out.
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But it's better than I would assume in some ways, could be looked at as a positive to say, but we can count on it. It's, we aren't giving a complete,
Right.
break on it.
From the town's perspective, you don't know when you can count on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way prices go up and the interest and it's like, well, now we could have gotten X amount when I die 50 years from now. That X amount is not worth the same as 50 years from now. So they
Right.
may not. Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you.
yes,
I'm
right, because
just,
you're only gonna get, right.
So that.
I feel like,
Yeah.
yes.
Down, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Not getting
Well,
as much.
it's an interesting
yes.
discussion.
And I think that that's something that we do need to talk about, knowing that we are here as advocates for, the older adults in Groveland. And I think, as you may or may not have seen already, clearly there's a huge voice of
It
wanting
was certainly a big issue in the surveys.
Mhm.
some impact. So anyway, if and when we were to ever think about moving in that direction of some sort of advocacy in the property tax realm, Melinda seems like a great resource, and I know that she would be happy to come in and have a chat with anyone that would want to learn more about that.
Yeah,
with
I
us.
certainly want to understand it more.
Yeah. Engagement, celebration, and symposium. Really excited about it to date. We have 4,650 in sponsorship funding. Certainly anticipate getting to about 7, maybe 8,000 by the time we end. As we've known, we have Dr. John Ziesel as our keynote speaker, but we have a lot of other great presenters, including Mass Senior Games this year, which is going to be awesome to see how, if you aren't aware of Mass Senior Games, they put on they put on local games, and it's really like it's like any other sports event, except for this category is for older adults. And so you do local games, and then you can go to the state level, then you can go to the national level. It's a lot of fun.
What type of games? Physical games?
Yeah,
or- oh,
Yeah, physical games. So they do all sorts of things. You know, from traditional track and field to you know, pickleball and things like that. So it should be, I think it should be really interesting. If at the very least to learn where you could watch if you're interested, and or definitely could participate. So it should be fun.
Do you know if the library has been able to get and set aside some books?
I know that
by
she
the-
had wanted to, Darcy had wanted
Yeah.
to, library director. I will check in. I'm not sure if
Okay.
that has been done yet.
All right. Thank you.
So should be a great day. Hoping to have launch of the website with more specific details next week, Tuesday, April 21st. And then we'll do the postcard as we've done in the past, mid-May, and then doing that constant reach. But we've already had people registered as of yesterday, so it's good stuff. Oh, how many? I don't know, just a handful of people, but I was still glad that people are like, yes, we want to do it without knowing any information. So, and they were all people that said, yes, I've been before. So that was good. Yeah. Nisha's report, she recaps the visit from Visiting Angels. The program title was Building Bridges to Care. I think maybe some of you had spoken about it at last event. So again, just reiterating, it was a great program with lots of resources about in-home care supports. Traveling Chef Program, that is a program that AgeSpan sponsors. And so 2 things on that. We've sort of increased from, I think one time, 40, 45, 50, 55. Now we're up to 65. AgeSpan does contract clearly with a vendor to make those meals. So right now that contract has been confirmed to last through September. I think we have these conversations every year.
Mhm.
You know, so far it's always continued, and we hope that it will. But now we definitely know through September, and we'll keep you posted. She makes a note to shout out to the Groveland congregational community and other community members to, you know, really ongoing contribution to the food pantry, which adds a lot of variety to our pantry, which I know our members really appreciate. So thank you to everyone that continues to do that. And then she mentioned that we did have I think we had like a nail or something in the tire.
Bolt?
Happened while I was out and Irene was here. But it was a quick fix and was able to take care of.
Well, kudos to Frank for
Yeah,
getting that accomplished.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was
Frank did
concerned.
come in on an off day to make
Oh, I
sure
wondered, yeah.
that it was fixed. So thank you to him. Just a quick reminder, this was in there last time, but Reframing Aging is taking place on Tuesday, June 9th. That is in Salem at the Salem Council on Aging. The cost is $20. It includes breakfast, but this is open to anyone really, particularly in advocacy and leadership roles, to learn more about that. Deadline May 22nd. Flyers are available if you'd like them. And again, appreciation to Irene and Sharon for helping out with our interviews. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions for me? No? Okay. Thank you for the conversation and discussion about the cancellation policy. Appreciate it.
Moving on to other business, we'll do subcommittee updates. Finance, anything? Okay.
Town meeting, April 27th,
Yes.
Thank you.
6:30
Yes, be there.
at Bagnell School.
Personnel,
I mean, hiring.
I think we're, for the moment, we're in good shape.
yes, we are. Excellent, and hopefully it will continue. And then the nominating committee.
So from what I understand, Sharon has received all 3 letters of people with intent to return to the committee. Thank you for doing so. Barbara and Deb, who did a lot of soul searching, she said, and Sharon herself. So now what we need to do is take these, we need to vote on these people. and then send these, like, do we accept the three of you to remain, to come back on the board or remain on the board? And then we send those 3 letters of intent to the select board and they appoint the 3 of you.
Okay.
So that's the deal. So that's the one thing. Second thing is we vote on our officers in June, at our June meeting, and that when you become an officer, your first meeting that you start is in July, new fiscal year. So consider if you want to continue doing what you're doing, or if you would like a different position. Positions are chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. And then we would take a vote, the next meeting, we will talk about who wants to do what, and we will take the vote in June. Does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. Do you
Um,
want to read the letters of intent
sure,
and
okay.
then we can vote?
Absolutely, okay. This one is from Barbara. Dear Sharon, I am interested in being reappointed to another 3-year term as board member of the Groveland Council on Aging. Thank you, Barbara. Let's see. Okay. This one's from Deb, to whom it may concern. If the Groveland Council on Aging would like me to continue to serve as member of the board for another 3-year term, it would be my honor to do so, providing support to older Groveland adults, building a welcoming, inclusive community through social and wellness activities, and affirming the value of each Groveland older adult can only build a better Groveland. The COA has made tremendous strides in the past few years, and I look forward to being part of this organization by serving on the COA board. Sincerely, Deborah Stevenson. And this one is from me. To the Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors, I would like to express my interest in being re-elected to the Council on Aging Board of Directors. I continue to be committed to the mission of the COA. It's an exciting time to be on the board. This past year has been one of growth. We created a strategic plan as well as deepening our knowledge of who we serve by educating ourselves through workshops, reading about older adult issues, and participating in COA programs and activities. Our knowledge is shared with the board as a whole. I would like to continue to be a part of this dynamic board.
Nice letters.
Yeah, they're great.
So I don't know how you feel if we just vote on the slate or individually. It's up to you. I mean, we could put our name
Slate.
just as a slate, unless there's anyone that says, well, I don't want that person back on the board. I don't think that's the issue here.
I think if there's anyone that's opposed, then they can oppose the slate and explain
And
their
then we do
reason
it.
why.
Exactly.
Right.
Otherwise, we have to go through it 3 times and then the person's still going to have to do the opposition. So we might as well just do the slate.
Okay, good idea. So I make a motion that we take a vote on the 3 positions that are open and that have been applied for from our present board. That makes any sense. I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Yeah, can we vote? I mean, can the,
Yes,
Can
you
they-
can vote for the other
Yeah.
2.
We're voting on the other ones.
All right.
okay.
Okay, it's
Seconded it,
unanimous.
right?
All right.
Yes, I did it. So, you want me to submit that to be on the Board of Selectmen's, or unless you want to, because it's supposed to go through you, but I'm on the committee, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll use it. All right. And also, on that note, just quickly, we're fortunate, our board is whole. We're together and, it's a cohesive group. But at some point, you never know, illness, circumstances change. So I would like to put forward the idea of being prepared. And I think the first step is, well, there are a number of steps. But the first step is really, I think all of us, we encourage anybody out there to, make their interests known. We'd love to hear from you. But by the same token, we also need to be proactive ourselves in terms of thinking about people who might be a good fit for the board or have the strengths that we might need, and have that be ongoing. The first step is, I think, but I could, correct me, or if you have other ideas, is to look, I think Alyssa gave us a number of types of things to look at. And I think first step is looking at our strengths as a board. Where are our strengths individually, each person? So I'd like to pass these around, and maybe if we could do these for our next meeting, that would be great. So we'd have something to work from. What do we need? What's missing, or what could we shore up, or what could we make, even better? So I'm gonna have you, Laura, pass those. I have plenty of those. Does anyone have any questions about that or concerns?
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's,
Thank you.
I think it's a good idea for us to do. Put some,
Because we have been in that situation where half the board left.
Mhm.
And that's how we got such great people.
Laura was
As a
hitting everybody
result.
up at voting.
That's
Huh?
You were hitting everybody up at voting.
Voting everywhere else, just us.
Yes. She- Oh, now what do you want? She went hiding from me.
All right.
See, that's one of my strengths. I can get people to do things.
But another piece of that is Barbara and Irene and myself are continuing to work on, I think that's in there, the new board member workbook, handbook. And that's definitely something that needs to, as we think about people and this whole process, to be in place. So if there is someone who said, yes, at some, we might say, well, we don't have any openings right now, but in the future, there may be openings. And they say, well, yeah, I'm interested. And having the handbook and really outlining what it means to be on the board, what the responsibilities are, all those kinds of things. So nobody's going in blind. There are always going to be things that come up, but as concise, clear and as concise as we can make it will be really helpful, I think. So people know what they're getting into, what they're volunteering for.
I think that's a very worthy point. More knowledge people can have, because when Laurel does approach somebody and say, hey, we need, the first question is, well, what's it all about? What do we do? Well, here's an answer for you.
Okay. All right, any other?
Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, you're welcome. Any other items? Other business? No? All right, our focus areas.
Friends.
What am I doing here?
Friends. Larry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where is,
He's right
oh,
behind
he
you.
is here. Oh, good, Larry. I was looking for you over there. Okay, thank you.
Behind you.
Thank you, Laurel.
He's hiding.
Okay, Larry is up next.
Sure, I brought some props, of course, and Barbara, I want you to hold that up so people can see the sign.
I'll do my
All
vanity.
right, and you can do both sides, all
Ooh,
right?
all right.
Just so that everybody knows that we're coming up on the yard sale. May 2nd is our townwide yard
I
sale.
think, Larry, you need a mic.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry McElhenney from the Friends of the Council on Aging. We are a fundraising group, and our big spring fundraiser is our townwide yard sale coming up on May 2nd. For $25, we will lead people to your home, and they will be happy to spend their money buying the stuff that you no longer want. It's a great thing. I cleaned out a lot of stuff last year, so much so that I don't have a yard sale going on, but the Friends provide signage. that will direct people to your house. We will have maps with a list of the kinds of things that you are having for sale. I got a note from Tracy Guilford, who people know around town, and very interestingly or not, he's offering for sale old Pentucket high school yearbooks. I think that would probably
Oh,
draw people out
brilliant.
just for that. So the deadline for registration is the 27th of April. That gives us time to get the lists and maps together and get them distributed. It's also town meeting. We'll be there with paper copies. If anybody at the last minute decides, oh yeah, I think I want to do that, please sign up for $25. It is our big fundraiser for the year. On the day of the sale, we will have maps available at Town Hall and at some of the yard sale locations as you enter town, so that people, will have some sort of people standing, giving maps out as people come in, 97 or Salem Street or down Main Street. Please join us. And if you're not ready to have a yard sale, you can restock your own garage with things from other people's garages. Our other upcoming fundraiser, which I'm very excited about, is our third community concert. Last year, we had a group called the North Shoremen perform at Bagnell School on April 11th. This year, they're coming back under a new name called Harmony North Shore. Moved on from the North Shore Men because, as I understand it, there are women now that are singing with the group, and I think that's great. The very exciting part of this is the Bagnell grade 5-6 chorus is going to be the opening act. And they performed at our holiday concert in December with the Memory Laners, but it wasn't Memory Laners. And that was just a fun concert. This again is a fundraiser. Tickets are $20. I know that the Harmony North Shore will bring a contingent of people, and I know the school children will bring, but for those of us who are not part of either group, it's still a fun time. So we have a fundraiser and we have a fundraiser coming up. So that'll be, I'm sorry?
What was the date on that?
It is Saturday, May 16th at 6:30 at Bagnell School. So thank you. Any questions?
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I haven't been to any of the meetings. You're saying you're going to have people that will give out the maps.
Mhm.
I found last year that when people came to my yard sale, they just drove by because I'm on 97. And I said, oh, this is they said, what's this town yard sale, because I had the sign out, and I said, oh, it's a big yard sale townwide. Oh, where else? Let me see, I'm trying to think of people. If I had a map, and I directed them to come here to town meeting to get a map, but if I had a map that I could
Yeah,
just give, even if it's just one that people could take a snapshot at.
Sure. We'll make sure you have plenty.
I'm not, I
You're
have
not
nothing left. Well, I have nothing. My husband has a lot of stuff that could have gone.
But that's what I said. At the main thoroughfares in town, we'll have people out
Okay.
with maps available.
maps.
One of the part of the feedback we got last year was even though the maps were available by QR code, many people who have that capacity on their phone don't know quite how to access it. So we will have more paper maps this year available than we had last year. So that was one of the things that we heard loud and clear. But they'll be available at various locations in town.
And larger text.
Large text, yes. We're putting less information. Part of it was we simplified, if you remember last year, we ran it over 2 days and had different starting times, and we had to list all of that information down, but since we've streamlined it, we'll be able to have larger font for people to be able to actually see what is there and won't need a magnifying glass. Although maybe we could sell magnifying glasses too. If we kept it small, make a little money on the side there. Who knows?
Even though you're simplifying the listing of yard sale locations, will there be enough space to put down a few of the basic categories of items that people have?
We will keep that feature, yes. I think
Thank you.
people did seem to find that helpful.
Yes.
Any other questions? No, thank you very
Well, just-
much.
Well,
Thank you,
before
Larry.
you go,
Mhm,
I did bring up to the Riverworks Credit Union about donating the $500.
mhm.
And then they decided with the problems with your insurance and everything else, that they wouldn't give you the $500, but they did make it for $750.
Oh.
So,
Oh, that is super.
Fantastic.
George,
Wow.
thank you. Thank you. So this is for the concert, the cost of the concert, paying for the group liability insurance and the custodial fee for using Bagnell School. This
Oh.
covers our expenses, so all the money that we take in at the door will go to, thank you very much, George.
Sure.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
Thank you.
my, really, really good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay, discussion of COA board goal, no, I'm sorry, community assessment survey. Observation.
Oh, I know time is limited, so I won't walk through it. But I'll tell you what's inside of here. So take it home, look at it. We have our executive summary. So if you want to just high level, that's what we got. And then I did do a narrative as the next section. So talking about our methodology, a little bit more who we heard from, key themes, and a little bit more in depth there. Also wanted to thank so much to everyone. As we mentioned before, we had over 500 surveys submitted. So thank you to all the community members, but also thank you to all of you for making the phone calls and going door to door and following up with people to make that happen. So really appreciate that. So again, executive summary. And then for those of you that really want to dive into it, I did two appendixes. One is a printout of each of the survey questions and what the results were for each individual. Note that because of the nature of the survey that you could essentially answer what you wanted to. The surveys will tell you how many people answered that particular question, and then the percentages are based on that. Some do add up to more than 100 because there were times where you could select multiple answers to a question. So that detail is in there. And then I also shared with you the verbatim responses for the open-ended questions in there. I did edit it a little bit just for readability, but certainly didn't change anything more than if I noticed a misspelling or something like that. So a lot of detail in here.
A lot of work. Incredible.
Really?
Well, we as a community did a lot of work to make this happen. So now we need to make sure it's usable for us. So take a look at that, because my ask is that, as you may have seen it in the newsletter that's online, we do have 2 community sessions coming up to share the results of this and to ask for additional feedback. So that's Monday, May 18th at 10 o'clock in here, as well as Thursday, May 21st at 3 o'clock in this very room. But I would love to hear from the board, your feedback. Again, this is my first draft, let's say, of all the data. So take a look. If you have any edits, be it, something like a typo or something that needs more clarification, let me know, because if you have those questions, so will everyone else. So, and would love to preemptively head that off. But also would love to hear your feedback on things that we might want to ask the community members that are coming to these sessions as well. And certainly if you would like to join those sessions, would love to have you. I know Barbara signed up for one of them. Yeah.
In the newsletter. I haven't read the newsletter yet. Okay.
But May 18th, 10 o'clock, May 21st, 3 o'clock. Same information will certainly, for those listening, will be provided at each, but wanted to give some options. Also, sorry, a third ask from you is I think this would be overwhelming and a whole lot of paper to get back to everyone. So, would like to hear from you what key things from your perspective we should make certain to share in our community report out. I will make this whole thing available online once we get through all the edits. So know that full transparency will be out there just for the community meeting the 40+ page.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Are we planning on inviting like town department heads to come to one of the community feedback sessions? Or is your plan to include that feedback with something that gets presented to them at some point?
I think that was my initial thinking with
Use these two sessions to
Yeah.
gather additional input.
and then certainly if people, and I can
Well,
let them know, can join us. But yeah, I think,
Because I mean, just from when I went through the details, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously property taxes.
Yep.
Came up a lot, sidewalks.
sidewalks came up a lot.
So there
Yeah.
are some things that.
Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely.
but
Fully
after
our
the feedback,
intention
Yeah,
is that
that's probably, yeah.
this helps the COA as a town department, but ultimately, information to be shared as a
Yeah.
whole. Yeah.
It would be great after we have those information sessions and to perhaps request to be put on the agenda of the select board meeting
Mhm.
and, present key, like you say, key
Yeah.
Mhm.
things to them as well. And if they copy of it, fine, but for one thing, so that they're aware of what, community members are looking for, key things that the town could certainly help be part of, but also so that the select board and people who watch the select board meetings can see, wow, look what the Council on Aging has done here. Look how they're really trying to reach out, get community input so that we can continue to support our older adults as well as everyone else in town. Like sidewalks would benefit, everyone. So I think to get on the select board meeting would be a really good thing.
Do you think it would be worth having a page of an upcoming engagement newsletter to focus on key highlights, knowing that some of the people who have filled in the survey are also people who read the newsletter, and they may
Yeah.
be wondering.
Absolutely. So we could, potentially do that for July,
July,
August.
August.
Mhm. Did you have any questions for me? I'm more than happy to answer. I just know timing is.
Just thank you for everything. I mean, this was one of our strategic goals that we felt like we needed to have, and you and your team did the lion's share of the work. And I think this is going to be very helpful for us as we plan going forward.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you want us
Pleasure.
to bring, oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Do you want us to bring any questions that might have arisen as we go through this to the next meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. So these, the community sessions do take place after our May board meeting. So you can certainly,
Oh, they do?
yeah, I think it's May 14th. It's in,
Oh, did
Wait,
I do
yeah.
that wrong?
May 20th.
oh, is it May 20th?
20th.
What?
So we you should probably give us a date by which you would like us to
Yeah.
email you our feedback
Yes.
as far as
Um,
what we think should be, if we have any feedback.
Yeah, maybe the week before May 18th or the Wednesday. Let's do the Wednesday
11th,
before May
is that-
18th.
That's not a Wednesday.
I don't have a calendar in front of
No,
me.
I'll tell you in a
the
second.
Wednesday,
13th, May 6th, is that a Wednesday?
And
the Wednesday before the 18th is
Yeah.
the 13th.
13th.
yes.
Melissa, besides being extremely informative, it was also easy to read. It was very interesting to read. At first, when I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of pages to read and whatever. But once I got into it, it's like, wow, I just wanted to keep reading and reading. It just was very informative, very, as I say, readable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it really I mean, again, we wouldn't have it unless people participated. So really, really appreciate them. You know, certainly 500 is quite a few. So like we said, we have about 2,000, you know, older adults in the community, and would love to hear from all of them. But I think 500 really is a good sample size of the community. So yeah. Awesome.
All right, thank you very much.
Wow.
This ended up being so important to do.
Wow. Okay, so COA board goals, pillars 2, share information learned from a training, professional development opportunity, or informational resource.
I have one. I'll try and make it quick because I know we're going for a while. So this is another webinar that I did from the Society on Aging, which I really like their programs. I like the fact that I can go do them when I want to do them. So this one was called Bridging Aging and Disability. Strategies for Aging Well for People with Intellectual, Developmental, and Physical Disability or Differently Abled. So just, if I say disabled here, differently abled, please. But it's a lot more syllables, so I might screw up. And I just think it was interesting. I found it actually very interesting because it's not something that I usually think about. You know, we're usually thinking about your own aging journey. And there are a lot of other people that have different aging journeys. And it talked about it talked about that healthy aging doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter where you are, what your abilities are. And it talked about healthy aging being living on your own terms, adding value to society, family, friends, maintaining health and function. And then it talked about how, you know, how for people with that are differently abled, however, that ageism, which impacts everyone over a certain age, for them, ableism also. So they're getting a double whammy. And it was very interesting that for people with physical or intellectual or developmental who are differently abled, that chronic age-related conditions usually appear 20 to 25 years before the general population. There's a lot of reasons for that. Some of it's financial, some of it's caregiving situations, but a lot of it is the healthcare, is that healthcare professionals that may have been treating someone for intellectual, developmental, or their original physical condition may not have the knowledge of the aging. So I found that very interesting. And it gave, at the end, it gave some strategies for helping to address those issues. First was, you know, just greater knowledge of how aging and ableism issues intersect. Another, it was obviously reduction in poverty. That helps everyone. The one that I really thought was promoting exercise and promoting wellness health coaching, which is something that most caregivers, they're just so overwhelmed, they can't do that. You know, when you're so overwhelmed with caring for your loved one, or if you're a professional caregiver who's got very low pay, you know, often difficult working conditions, those are the things you just, you know, you're trying to get people fed, you're trying to get people to appointments, you're not really thinking about those things. So that to me was an opportunity maybe for community organizations to jump in on. And then, you know, reducing the disparity in healthcare, which really is, you know, more a national, state level thing to do. It also talked about, I thought this was another one that I found very interesting, is that, and it's not just differently able people who are aging, but it may also be the caregivers for those differently abled people who are aging. You know, if you're a 75-year-old parent who has had your differently abled child living at home with you forever, you have to start thinking, what happens? What happens next? I can't do this forever. And so it talked about the need for future planning, which I think, and again, everything that the COA staff is doing now with, the memory cafes and the dementia support groups and all that, that's all working as well. But I thought that was something that really needed to be thought about.
Yeah.
What are the services out there? And obviously, our COA can't do all this. We don't have the staff, but, are there resources? I know some primary care physicians' offices have embedded social workers who are very knowledgeable. That's great. Not every primary care practice has that. So where are the resources that we could at least refer people to? And 60% of differently abled individuals still live at home with a family caregiver. That's a very big number. So I just thought it was very interesting. It made me think about things that I probably had not thought of and, try and say, what are the resources, Because there certainly are, we all know people that are dealing with this.
What was the name of that website again?
So it's the American Society on Aging, right? The American Society on Aging. You have to join it, but there's no fee to join it. You just join.
Want your email.
Webinars are a one-time shot or? are
No,
they repeated
no.
or
So what they do is you can sign up and the webinar will be on a specific date, but then usually for, say, 4 to 6 weeks after the date that they actually present it live, you can go in and see the video of it, which is what I usually do.
Thank you.
So, I mean, they have a lot of different topics, and there's actually been a couple that I wanted to watch that I missed the 6-week window on, and I was disappointed after the fact, but I find them very interesting. And they're not long. I mean, they're usually maybe an hour,
Mhm.
and they do have a question and answer at the end. So if you want to do it live, you can, put your questions in.
It's great information.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
I attended Alyssa's invitation, the Merrimack Valley Legislators Breakfast. I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've lost. The two takeaways that I stick in my mind, they did have, it was sponsored by AgeSpan. They had AgeSpan employees, talk about their roles and what AgeSpan does. What they were asking of the legislators were not more money, but replacing money that had been taken away. So it wasn't a big ask. It wasn't asking for more. It was, please, could we have the money back that we had originally? The other was talked about caseworkers. And some caseworkers have between 85 and 90 clients. So they might get to see their clients twice a year. So it really, it's discouraging. AgeSpan, I think, is doing what they can, but I think so much more could be done on their parts and certainly from the state funding. So it was interesting, informative, and I'm really enjoyed going. Thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah, I would just note that, so Senator Tarr's liaison there, Marianne Ney, and then Rep. Ramos was there as well, so our representatives.
And two very different slants. And Senator Marianne Ney asked specifically for input, wanted specifics so she could take it back to Senator Tarr. Representative Ramos wanted to have some information about, I can't remember what a study. So it wasn't, it was interesting to see the two perspectives of what each was kind of looking for to take back.
Just another side item. I'm involved with Envita in Newburyport. And on Tuesday of next week at 5:30, they're having an author come in she wrote the book, The Rocking Chair, which involves dementia. So it's free. You can go in there anytime, starts at 5:30. So if you know anybody with dementia or a dementia situation, or you can tell them to go to Vita at 5:30 next Tuesday, and she has an interesting talk. Things you never think about.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else?
I do have something, but I'll just very, very quickly. Attended the 5 Wishes that Alyssa put on the other day. Had the documents, we discussed the documents. It's really about advanced care planning. What your wishes are for, your care at towards the end of life, I would say, than, right now. The interesting thing is 70% of the people are not able to make their own medical care decisions. And 2/3 of the people have not even discussed with their doctor or with their significant other or family members what their wishes are. And the documents are things you take your time with, you write down in pencil in case it changes, because it can change as you age and things develop. And you give these documents, a copy to your doctor, a copy to your person who is your, as you call them, proxy, copy to your family members, friends, whoever it may be. The legal documents, they are legal documents, it's just not one. I have yet to fill mine out, but it's there. And sit down and do it. But it was very interesting. And she did a great job, great training. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you. For people that want the 5 Wishes document, we put some out in the entryway of Groveland Town Hall, as well as certainly in our office at the COA.
If I could just add really quickly, besides the medical part of it, there were many other sections and it focused on like, how would you want to be remembered? Help me out, Laurel.
Sort of who do you want to be there in the room with you in your last moments?
Would you like music playing? Just various other things that you might not think about. Obituaries, which I guess kind of comes with the territory.
Right.
Yeah.
But that you need to let your family members know this ahead of time.
Right.
That this document exists and this is what, and you discuss it with them.
Mhm.
And did have a thought afterwards, but like right now, if I were to pass, I want a church funeral because I know people in the church, they know me. If I'm to pass 30 years from now, I don't know if they'll know me anymore. So that's one thing.
So that's
The other
why
thing
you
is-
can change it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the other thing I'm thinking, because I'm having a really hard time, is my family is not comfortable in the church. So it's for them. I'm dead. I'm in heaven. If they're not comfortable in the church, it's really a funeral service is for them. So that's what I keep thinking. That's one of the reasons I don't know what to do with this. What I want is it really important? They're the ones that are going to be grieving. I'm going to be floating around with the angels. I don't know.
And
Okay, that's my own
ultimately,
personal
yeah, no,
thing,
I
but-
think that is a really hard
Mhm.
decision, and that's why the document is there for you to
But-
figure out what you want to write down. Yeah.
Well, pick up the documents because they're really very thorough. Very thorough. So thank you.
All right, any discussion, updates, observations, additional key results related to COA strategic goals for FY 25 to FY 27?
I think we should probably add to either our June, well, probably our July agenda, that we should like actually go over what our strategic goals were and where we stand. So we should put that on the July agenda, I think.
Mhm.
July.
At the beginning, yeah.
Okay,
And we are going to have to start looking at next year's.
right.
This cycle keeps happening.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea, and we have ongoing ones, sharing information, which I think, we should continue. I don't know that there's an end to that. But if we when we complete the new members handbook, then that will be one that's completed and, moving on to others. That's great. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, now that we have the basis of this, it's just small additions every year and checking off things that we have done. I don't think, this was the big year. This was let's get this whole document, strategic planning done. No, I'm saying because some of them are ongoing. It's not like to be completed by, and some, as we're growing and as we're doing different things, we can add to this. But I mean, a lot of it we're going to continue doing. And that will still be in our.
But I mean, like the survey, the survey's done. We need to record that the survey is done. And then
Right,
the idea is, okay, now we take what we've learned in the survey and how does that inform?
exactly.
Future,
Taking
right.
what we've done. I mean,
Yeah,
but we have the basic format that we worked very hard on. And
Yes.
from that, we can,
Yeah.
take, delete, whatever, as we do anyway. And remember to consider, if you would like to consider it, to continue in your positions in officers, or if you would like to, if you're not an officer, if you would like to be an officer. So because we'll be having elections coming up. Okay.
Okay. All right. So our next scheduled meeting is on May 20th, 2026. Do I have a motion to close the meeting at 10:58?
I make a motion.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.